Howdy YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Gunman. So today I'll be taking you guys through the Basecoat stage on this Jeep Grand Cherokee. So we're continuing on from the previous two videos. We did some repairs, primer work, and even the prep work at home in my garage. But yeah, obviously we've taken it into work to do the spray painting. So the color code is PSC and it is Billet. So it's quite a difficult color to get, but as I've mentioned in previous videos, I've found that PPG generally does have a good color code, but they don't necessarily always make it that easy to find. So I think that's the difference between a good and an average technician, is the ability to find them. So what I ended up actually doing with this color was I mixed up a Fiat color, of all things. So the same color is obviously on some Fiat, so I found the Fiat color code. I looked at it and I'm like, damn, that's good. But I did go ahead and mix up a test amount, so like 200 mils, sprayed it out, checked it, just to be sure that the color was good before I go and mix up, say, 1.5 liters and have the potential for it to have completely wrong metallics in it. So yeah, that's what I did with the color. But as you can see there, we gave it a good tack rag down first. I've already prep soled it, gave it a good clean down with microfiber cloth as well. That's another pretty important step I find these days to getting a nice clean finish. And the first two coats of base coat, I like to get them down relatively nice and wet. So for the first couple of coats, I'm going for coverage. So the paint that I'm using is the PPG Envirobase, and I'm doing it as the 3-coat system. I decided to do that on this car here because it's a little bit more forgiving. So we've got the other option, it being the PPG 1 visit. I have done it one or two times on a silver and blended it, and it came out absolutely mint. But just because this job here, it's a friend of mine's car, and I wanted to have like a little bit more flexibility. So yeah, with the Envirobase, the 3-coat system, I find it a little bit easier to, say, troubleshoot. If you do have, let's just say you missed a sanding scratch, right, in your base coat, you can identify that in, say, coat 1, sand it out, apply a little bit more. If you do get like a bit of dust in your base coat, it's easier to sort of sand it out. But yeah, that's why I use the standard 3-coat system, and I do like to thin it down at 25%. I find that does a couple of things. It helps it dry in between coats, and it also helps it dry after you've applied it, so less chance of sort of having that dieback, which you can get with the Envirobase if you mix it up at 15 or 20%, which for some reason is the default mix here in Australia anyway. So I don't think that that's enough. But either way, after getting my first 2 coats down, I'm happy that we've got coverage, right? So that's what I aim for. I want coverage after 2 coats, right? So having a correct shaded primer definitely helps. But after I've got those first 2 coats down, I'm giving the blends a tack rag just to remove any sort of loose metallic particles that would have landed there from coat 1 and coat 2. And then we're going to go and get our wicked Gunman Edition Pro. So that's just a GTI Pro with a TE20 on it, which is the air cap and a 1.3. Cranking that pressure up to 2 bar, and we're just going to get one nice wet coat of this base coat blender down. So that's just transparent base coat, which is T490, and again that's mixed up. Well, I think I go 30%, 25 or 30%, can't remember off the top of my head, but it doesn't matter really, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Yeah, like put that over the blend. So that basically what that does is it will fill in the sanding scratches and stop any potential halo around that color. It's more important to put that down on the silver colors. I might not always do it on, say, the darker colors, but I would still probably give that blend a tack rag even if it was a darker color. But the base coat gun that I'm using is probably still the GOAT, like the greatest of all time base coat guns. I still find it effortless to just spray my base coat down with this thing. However, I have recently received another new spray gun, which is the A&I Tronic, and I'm putting that one through its paces. So far, I've used the Tronic base coat for 1 visit, and I was quite happy with it. So, yeah, but either way, the gun here, so I go full fan, full fluid, and 25 PSI. But then on my last coat, I do drop that pressure down and I wind the fluid in, specifically on these kinds of colors, right? So with Envirobase, on your last coat, you don't want to put it down too heavy, or you do run the risk of getting some mottle. But you may have also noticed that even after those first 2 coats, which were pretty wet, there was minimal to no mottle anyway. So I find the most important thing, you can go on about your settings and all that and your application, but I have actually found that the most important thing for not getting tram tracks and mottle and all that kind of stuff is actually just getting it on evenly. It could be a little bit heavier, a little bit lighter, but it's more important that you get on a nice even coat. So even passes, holding that gun straight to the panel. What a lot of amateurs do, they'll have the gun sort of tilted backwards on a bit of an angle, and that obviously doesn't lay the paint down nice and evenly. But look, just a base coat and blending video. I thought we'd do a single video just for the base coat on this one. So next video, we're going to be doing the clear coat, and we're going to be using the quartz liquid glass, which is definitely a high-end clear coat. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Hopefully you guys did enjoy watching this one. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. But yeah, going forward, it's looking like I'm going to be making more regular content again. I had a little bit of a break after 10 years. I felt a little bit burnt out, but I'm feeling reinvigorated now, and I'm looking forward to getting more regular content, minimum 1 video up a week. Now my Instagram account was deleted, so if you do follow me over on Instagram and you've wondered where I've gone, be sure to check out the link in the description. There is a link to my new Instagram account down there. Until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out.